The council hall of the Galactic Assembly was vast, its ceiling stretching far above even the tallest of species. Light reflected off crystal panels, and the room buzzed with conversations in dozens of languages. Representatives of hundreds of alien civilizations had gathered, their eyes flicking toward the small, unassuming human delegation. They were laughed at, whispered about, and openly mocked. Humans had only recently reached the interstellar stage. For centuries, they had struggled to leave their own solar system, barely making contact with a few nearby stars. Yet now, here they were, standing among civilizations that had thrived for thousands, sometimes millions of years. Captain Lena Oren adjusted her black uniform and straightened her posture. Her brown eyes swept the room, and she felt a mix of pride and irritation. She had trained her whole life for this moment, and yet the others didn't take them seriously. Not one alien species looked at the humans and saw potential. They only saw weakness. "Are you sure this is going to work?" whispered Dr. Raj Malhotra, the young engineer who had designed the ship's cloaking system. He glanced nervously at the huge assembly hall, where beings with 6 arms, shimmering scales, and glowing eyes were exchanging amused glances. "It has to," Lena replied quietly. "They think we are weak. That's why we have a chance. Remember, Raj, never underestimate the underestimated." The humans walked forward, a small group compared to the sprawling delegations of other species. The room grew quieter, some curious, most dismissive. Commander Elias Trent, the diplomat, stepped forward to speak on behalf of Earth. "Honored members of the Galactic Assembly," he began, his voice steady. "We are humans from the planet Earth. We come in peace, seeking to join your community and to share knowledge for mutual benefit." A wave of laughter rippled across the hall. Alien delegates exchanged gestures, some pointing at Earth's delegation, others shaking their heads in disbelief. One large serpentine species hissed audibly, its voice echoing off the walls. "Peace?" it said. "You barely survived your own planet's conflicts, and now you seek to speak here as equals?" Raj's hand clenched around the edge of his tablet. He could feel the tension, the mocking weight of centuries of superiority pressing down on them. Lena placed a hand on his shoulder. "Let them laugh," she whispered. "We'll show them later that laughter is dangerous when aimed at the wrong target." The assembly continued, with alien representatives sharing stories of their civilizations, millions of years old. Wars fought across galaxies, technologies humans couldn't yet imagine, and through it all humans were barely acknowledged, their efforts dismissed as naive and clumsy. Yet behind closed doors, the humans were preparing something no one in the galaxy had anticipated. Hidden deep within the asteroid belt near Jupiter, humanity had built the first fully operational cloaked battleship. It was a marvel of engineering, a combination of stealth, speed, and firepower that even the most advanced species could not yet detect. Dr. Raj had spent years perfecting the cloaking technology. Using a combination of quantum field manipulation and light-bending alloys, the ship could vanish entirely from sensors. Lena had trained with her crew for months, simulating attacks on alien fleets much larger and more advanced than their own. Every drill, every strategy, every calculation had led to this moment, the moment when the galaxy would realize that humans were not as weak as they believed. Back on Earth, news channels broadcast the mockery in real time. Citizens watched alien leaders laugh at their species, but instead of fear, the laughter ignited a spark of determination. Humanity was not ready to fight yet, but they were preparing. They were learning, building, and planning. And when the time came, they would strike in a way no one would see coming. At the assembly, Lena and her team sat silently as alien debates continued. A holographic display projected maps of the galaxy, showing territories, trade routes, and military zones. Most of the alien leaders seemed bored, chatting and ignoring the humans. But Lena noticed one particular species, a tall insectoid race with multifaceted eyes, watching them closely. There was a curiosity there, faint, almost invisible, but it was the first sign that not all aliens were blind to humanity's potential. Commander Trent leaned closer to Lena. "We have to be patient," he said softly. "They will continue to underestimate us. That is our advantage. But we cannot make mistakes. Not now, not ever." Lena nodded. She thought about the battles they had fought on Earth, against natural disasters, internal conflicts, and even rogue factions that had tried to dominate the planet. Humanity had survived because they adapted. They had endured because they learned quickly. And now, standing in the hall of the most advanced species in the galaxy, Lena understood that adaptation would be their greatest weapon. "Are the tests complete?" Lena asked Raj later, as they walked through the narrow corridors of their temporary quarters. The room was modest compared to the grandeur of the assembly, but it was enough. "Yes," Raj said, his voice tinged with excitement. "The cloaking field is stable. The engines can operate silently for weeks. We can move anywhere without detection. And the weapons, well, let's just say they'll be surprised." Lena smiled faintly. "Good. Remember, Raj, this isn't about showing off. It's about survival, strategy, and sending a message they won't forget." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, alien fleets continued their drills, confident that no human ship could pose a threat. Reports came in of humans exploring nearby systems, establishing colonies, and creating trade networks. But every success was met with condescending remarks. "Primitive species," one alien general said. "They are lucky they are not in our quadrant long enough to be noticed." Back on Earth, scientists, engineers, and strategists worked tirelessly, preparing for a future confrontation they could sense was inevitable. Children learned about the stars not just as places of wonder, but as territories that might one day need defending. Humanity was small but determined, weak but clever, ordinary yet capable of extraordinary feats when pushed. Lena often thought about what the galaxy did not see, the resilience of a species that had survived against odds far worse than alien ridicule. She remembered the countless times humans had faced extinction on their own planet and had emerged stronger. That memory gave her confidence. The galaxy's laughter was fuel for the fire that burned in humanity's heart. As the first part of the assembly came to a close, a grand ceremony was held to honor species with the most advanced technology. Humans were mentioned briefly, a polite nod before moving on to the more important civilizations. Lena caught the eyes of her crew and nodded subtly. They understood this was just the beginning. Outside the assembly hall, in the quiet of their quarters, Lena, Raj, and Trent began planning. Maps of alien territories spread across the table. Models of star systems showing patrol routes, defenses, and strategic points. Every line, every note, every calculation brought them closer to the day when humans would no longer be laughed at. Raj leaned back, running a hand through his hair. "Do you think they'll ever take us seriously?" he asked quietly. Lena's gaze was steady, her eyes reflecting determination. "They will. Just not yet, and when they do, it will be too late for them to stop us." The stars outside the assembly hall shimmered, distant and indifferent, but humanity was ready. For the first time in history, humans were not just observers of the galaxy. They were participants. And one day the galaxy would learn that the smallest, most underestimated species could wield the greatest power when intelligence, courage, and determination came together. As night fell on Earth and the assembly hall emptied, Lena stared at the holographic projection of the human battleship. Invisible, silent, and deadly, it waited for the moment it would enter the galaxy's memory forever. One day the laughter would stop. One day the galaxy would see humanity not as weak or primitive, but as unstoppable. And Lena, Raj, and Trent would ensure that the lesson was unforgettable. Deep in the asteroid belt, far from the eyes of the galaxy, the human battleship floated silently. Its hull, dark and sleek, shimmered with a technology that made it invisible to all sensors. To any alien fleet scanning the area, nothing existed here but empty space and drifting rocks. But inside the ship, the human crew was far from silent. Captain Lena Oren paced the command deck, her eyes scanning a wall of holographic displays. Each display showed a different aspect of the ship: power distribution, cloaking stability, weapon readiness, and navigation routes. Every number, every color, every symbol was a reminder that this ship was not just a vessel. It was a statement. Dr. Raj Malhotra adjusted a control panel, checking the quantum field generators that allowed the ship to vanish from sensors. "The cloaking is stable," he said. "We can stay invisible indefinitely as long as we maintain the energy levels. The engines are silent. We can move anywhere without being detected." Lena nodded. "Good. But remember, Raj, invisibility alone won't win this. Strategy, timing, and patience will. The aliens underestimate us. That is our advantage. We cannot waste it." Commander Elias Trent, seated near the communications console, frowned slightly. The intelligence reports are clear. The aliens have grown overconfident. They patrol the borders loosely, assuming nothing will challenge them, but they are still dangerous if we make a single mistake. He let the warning hang in the air. Then we don't make mistakes. Lena finished for him. Her voice was calm, but firm. We have one chance to prove that humans are not weak. One chance to show them that intelligence and courage matter more than size and age. The crew nodded silently. They were a mixture of scientists, engineers, and military officers, each chosen for their unique skills. They had trained for months, running simulations against alien fleets that dwarfed their own. Every tactic, every maneuver had been rehearsed. But now, facing the real challenge, the weight of responsibility was heavier than any simulation. Below the command deck, the engineering bays hummed with energy. Technicians monitored the cloaking generators, ensuring the ship remained invisible even under extreme conditions. The engines, a combination of fusion cores and advanced ion drives, ran quietly, their vibrations minimized so that no sensors could detect the movement. Every detail, every part of the ship, had been designed to keep the humans hidden until the right moment. In the living quarters, crew members prepared in their own way. Some studied maps of alien territory, memorizing patrol routes and defense grids. Others ran through emergency drills, preparing for every possible scenario. A quiet determination filled the ship. This was not fear. It was focus. The humans knew the galaxy laughed at them, but that laughter only fueled their resolve. Lena walked down a corridor, pausing to speak with a young weapons officer. "Do you understand the plan?" she asked. "Yes, Captain," the officer replied. "We strike only when instructed. Precision over force, strategy over chaos." "Good," Lena said. "That is how humans win. Not with blind strength, but with careful thought. Remember that." Hours passed and the ship continued to drift through the asteroid belt, invisible to any scanning device. The silence of space was broken only by the soft hum of the engines and the occasional beeping of control panels. Lena returned to the command deck where Raj and Trent were waiting. "It's time to review the attack strategies one last time," Lena said. She tapped the holographic display, and a map of the alien territories appeared, showing capitals, trade routes, and military stations. Red icons marked patrol fleets, green icons marked communication hubs, and a single yellow icon represented the target, the capital of the alien species that had mocked humanity at the assembly. Raj pointed at the patrol routes. "They are predictable. They always take the same path around the capital. They rely on numbers and sensors, not creativity or caution. That is our opening. We can use the cloaking field to bypass all detection and reach the city without triggering alarms." Trent leaned closer. "And once we reach the capital?" he asked. "We cannot destroy everything. The goal is to prove our capability, not to start a war." "Exactly," Lena said. "We disable key defense systems, show them we can strike anywhere, and then retreat. The point is to send a message. Humanity is not to be underestimated." The crew spent the next several days running simulations and final tests. They navigated through asteroid fields, dodged simulated patrols, and practiced decloaking in the middle of enemy territory. Every exercise highlighted human ingenuity and adaptability. Unlike alien fleets which relied on brute force and repetition, the humans used creativity, unpredictability, and teamwork. Outside, the galaxy remained unaware of the silent ship moving through space. Alien fleets patrolled nearby systems, confident that no human vessel could pose a threat. Reports from scouts described the humans as harmless, small, and technologically inferior. The galaxy laughed, but inside the cloaked battleship, humans were preparing to show that laughter could be dangerous. One evening, Lena gathered the crew in the main briefing room. "Listen," she began, her voice steady and strong. "We are about to enter enemy territory. Every decision, every action, every calculation matters. The aliens believe we are weak. They will not expect us. That is our strength. But we must remain calm, disciplined, and united. Our ship is invisible, but our resolve is visible. We will show them the power of humanity, not through destruction alone, but through precision, intelligence, and courage. The crew nodded, understanding the weight of her words. Raj adjusted the controls of the cloaking field, ensuring the ship's invisibility remained stable. Trent reviewed the communication protocols, preparing messages that could be sent to the aliens at the right moment. And Lena, standing at the front, stared at the stars beyond the viewport, imagining the moment they would decloak above the enemy capital. Days turned into nights, though in the emptiness of space, time felt strange and distant. The crew maintained strict schedules, balancing rest with training, meals with drills, and observation with strategy. Every member knew that their actions now would shape humanity's future in the galaxy. One morning, sensors picked up the first signs of alien patrols near the outer edge of the target system. The ship's cloaking field held strong. The patrols passed without detecting the humans, confirming that their preparations were working. Lena allowed herself a small smile. It was a small victory, but it meant the larger mission was possible. Raj adjusted the controls again. The engines are ready for full-speed maneuvers. Cloaking is stable. Weapons are calibrated. We can enter the system undetected at any moment. Good, Lena said. But patience, timing is everything. We wait for the right moment to approach the capital. One mistake and the entire mission fails. But if we succeed, the galaxy will never laugh at humans again. Trent stepped forward. And what if they detect us, he asked quietly. The aliens are powerful. One ship alone might not be enough to defend against them if they realize our presence too early. Lena's gaze was sharp and unwavering. Then we fight smart. We adapt. That is what makes humans dangerous. We survive because we think, we plan, and we act with purpose. They may have power, but we have something they often lack: creativity under pressure. The days passed with increasing tension. The crew moved through drills, simulations, and checks with perfect coordination. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, indifferent to human concerns. But inside the battleship, a spark of defiance burned brightly. Humanity was preparing to step out of the shadows and show the galaxy its strength. Finally, the moment arrived. The ship approached the outskirts of the enemy system, sensors confirming the positions of patrols, defenses, and strategic targets. The cloaking field held. Every system was functioning flawlessly. Lena stood at the command deck, looking at the stars and the planet that lay ahead, the capital city of the aliens who had mocked them. "This is it," she said softly. "The galaxy laughed at us, but soon they will see that humans are not just survivors. We are warriors of intellect, courage, and determination, and we will not be ignored." Raj's fingers hovered over the control panel, ready to engage the next phase. Trent checked communication channels one last time. Every crew member held their breath, the weight of history pressing down on them. The cloaked battleship, invisible and silent, drifted closer to the alien capital. The galaxy remained unaware. The laughter continued in distant systems, oblivious to the storm that was about to arrive. And humanity waited, patient, precise, and unstoppable. The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, a black canvas scattered with distant stars. The human battleship moved silently through this void. Invisible to every sensor, undetectable to every patrol. To the galaxy it did not exist. But inside, the crew moved with purpose, every step bringing them closer to the heart of the alien capital. Captain Lena Oren stood at the command deck, her eyes fixed on the holographic map that showed patrol routes, defense grids, and orbital satellites. Each blinking red dot represented a potential threat, a challenge that could expose them. Yet the crew remained calm, disciplined, and focused. They were humans, underestimated and laughed at, but they had trained for this moment with every ounce of knowledge and skill they possessed. Dr. Raj Malhotra adjusted the quantum field generators, ensuring the ship's cloaking remained flawless. "Cloak is stable," he reported. "Sensors confirm no detection. We are clear." "Good," Lena said. Her gaze shifted to Commander Elias Trent. "Keep monitoring communications. If they try to send messages, we need to know immediately." Trent nodded. "I've set filters to pick up any anomalies." But I don't expect anything. They think no human ship can reach this far undetected. Exactly, Lena said. They think. And that is why we will succeed. The ship moved carefully, weaving between asteroid belts and navigating through natural debris fields. Every maneuver was calculated to avoid sensors and avoid suspicion. The crew operated like a single organism, each member anticipating the next move. It was precision, patience, and discipline that allowed them to penetrate deeper into enemy space. Hours passed without incident. The human crew used this time to run final checks on weapons, engines, and cloaking. Despite the silence outside, tension inside the ship was palpable. Every blinking light on the control panels reminded them of the stakes, the lives depending on their success, the future of humanity, and the pride of a species long underestimated. Suddenly, an alert beeped. A small patrol fleet had changed course and was heading toward the area the humans were passing through. Lena's eyes narrowed as she studied the holographic display. The patrol was small but fast, equipped with sensors designed to detect even minimal energy signatures. If they saw the battleship, the mission would fail immediately. Options? Lena asked, her voice calm but firm. Raj's fingers danced across the controls. We can use the asteroid field to mask our presence. The patrol sensors will scan the area, but with careful movement they won't detect us. Trent added, we can also project a decoy energy signature in a nearby sector. It will distract them long enough for us to pass. Lena considered both options. Do both, precision first, then misdirection. Timing is critical. The crew executed the plan flawlessly. The battleship drifted close to the asteroids, using their mass to obscure the ship's energy footprint. Simultaneously, the decoy activated, sending false readings to draw the patrol away. The small alien fleet adjusted its course, chasing what they believed was a potential threat. In reality, the humans slipped by unnoticed. Patrol avoided, Raj confirmed, a hint of relief in his voice. We are still cloaked and undetected. Lena allowed herself a small nod. Good. Remember, one patrol is minor. There are larger challenges ahead. As the ship moved deeper into the system, the alien defenses grew more complex. Communication satellites circled the capital, armed with sensors and automated weapons. Orbital stations monitored traffic, scanning for anomalies. The humans needed perfect timing to bypass all these layers. Lena turned to the crew. We enter the capital's inner orbit in 10 minutes. Every system must function flawlessly. Cloak engines, weapons, sensors, everything. One mistake and we are exposed. The countdown began. Crew members checked controls, recalibrated sensors, and reviewed escape routes. The tension in the command deck was thick, but the humans remained calm. They were trained for this, ready for this. The galaxy had laughed at them, but laughter would not protect anyone from a carefully planned strike. Finally, the ship reached the outer defenses. Lena initiated a slow, deliberate maneuver, guiding the battleship between orbital satellites, avoiding sensor arcs and moving through blind spots. Raj monitored the cloaking field, ensuring no energy leakage betrayed their position. Trent kept a close watch on communications, listening for any signs of detection. A sudden alert flashed on one of the displays. A fast-moving drone had detected an anomaly in their sector. The crew tensed, knowing the mission could end in seconds. Decoy now, Lena ordered. Raj activated the secondary cloaking pattern, projecting an energy signature several kilometers away from the battleship. The drone detected the false signal and altered its path to investigate. The humans slipped past undetected, moving closer to the capital. Hours passed in careful navigation. Each maneuver brought them closer to the target. The crew worked in perfect coordination, each member aware of the other's movements. There was no room for error, no chance for hesitation. Every decision mattered. As the battleship approached the inner system, they encountered their first direct challenge. A fast-response alien patrol fleet, larger and more advanced than anything they had seen before. The patrol was armed with detection systems capable of scanning for energy distortions and cloaking anomalies. If detected, the humans would face overwhelming force. Lena's mind raced. Raj enhanced the cloaking field. Trent, prepare for emergency communications. Everyone else follow my lead. The battleship weaved through the patrol, using asteroid debris and carefully timed maneuvers to remain invisible. The aliens scanned tirelessly, unable to locate the humans despite their advanced sensors. Minutes stretched into hours, but the crew remained focused, refusing to panic. Finally, the patrol passed. frustrated and unaware of the invisible threat in their midst. Lena allowed herself a small sigh of relief. "Well done, everyone." One step closer, but the mission was far from over. The capital's orbital defenses were next. Massive stations armed with weapons, shielded with advanced technology, and constantly monitored. The humans needed to approach with extreme caution. Every movement had to be calculated. Lena studied the holographic map, plotting a path between the defenses. "We move slowly, one sector at a time. Sensors active, engines silent. Raj, maintain cloaking. Trent, watch for anomalies. Let's show them humans are more than they believe." The battleship glided through space, each move precise and deliberate. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, indifferent to the humans daring to infiltrate a system that had mocked them. Inside, the crew worked tirelessly, every action a testament to human determination. As they neared the capital, Lena reflected on humanity's journey. Once considered primitive, fragile, and predictable, they had endured centuries of challenges. Natural disasters, internal conflicts, and threats from other species had shaped them into survivors, innovators, and fighters. Now the galaxy's laughter would meet the quiet determination of a species that refused to be underestimated. Finally, the inner orbit came into view. The capital glowed below, massive and intimidating, with spires reaching into the sky and energy fields shimmering around its surface. Orbital defenses rotated, scanning for threats. Every light and sensor was a challenge, but the humans had planned for this. Lena turned to the crew. "This is it. Stay focused. One mistake and it could end everything. But if we succeed, the galaxy will remember this moment." Raj's fingers hovered over the controls, adjusting the cloaking field to adapt to the capital's sensors. Trent monitored communication channels, ready to send messages if necessary. Every crew member waited, hearts steady, minds sharp. The battleship moved slowly, weaving between orbital defenses, invisible and silent. The crew held their breath, knowing that exposure now could mean failure. Minute by minute they advanced, relying on precision, strategy, and teamwork. Finally, the human ship reached a position directly above the capital's core defenses. Lena looked at the glowing city below, the place where alien leaders had mocked them, laughed at their species, and dismissed their potential. For the first time, humans were in a position to prove themselves. "Prepare for next phase," Lena said. Her voice was calm, commanding, and full of determination. "We are in position. Soon the galaxy will see the truth about humanity." The crew nodded, every member aware of the moment's significance. The cloaked battleship hovered silently above the capital, ready to strike. Not with reckless force, but with calculated precision that would change the galaxy's perception forever. The stage was set. The infiltration was complete. The aliens had no idea that the species they mocked so openly was now capable of reaching their most secure system undetected. And humanity waited, patient, prepared, and unstoppable. The alien capital glowed like a jewel against the darkness of space, its towers rising high, shielded by energy barriers, and protected by a network of orbital defense stations. Every surface shimmered with advanced technology, a display of power and confidence. But none of it could see the invisible threat hovering just above. Captain Lena Oren stood at the command deck, her hands resting lightly on the railing as she studied the holographic display. The crew was tense but ready, each member focused on their task. Hours of preparation, careful maneuvers, and undetected navigation had brought them to this point. The human battleship was in position, invisible, silent, and ready to strike. Dr. Raj Malhotra monitored the cloaking field one last time. "Cloak is stable. No detection. We are invisible to all sensors. We can decloak at any moment," Lena nodded. "Good, this is our chance. Remember, we do this precisely. We are not here to destroy, only to show them what humans are capable of." Commander Elias Trent adjusted the communications array. "Message is ready. Once we decloak, they will see the truth. No threats yet, just proof of presence. They need to understand they cannot underestimate us." The countdown began. The ship had spent weeks infiltrating the alien system, evading patrols, satellites, and orbital defenses. Every step had been calculated, every move deliberate. And now the moment of truth was at hand. "Prepare to decloak in 3, 2, 1. Lena's voice was calm, firm, and commanding. In an instant, the battleship shimmered and revealed itself above the capital. Its hull gleamed under the alien sun, a dark, sleek silhouette against the bright city. The energy fields that had hidden it dissolved, exposing its full size and strength. The alien sensors registered the massive ship, but it was too late. They could not track it in time. A wave of shock rippled through the capital. Alien leaders and military commanders stared at the sight above them, unable to comprehend what they were seeing. Their confidence, built over millennia, faltered. How could a single human ship appear above their most secure city, completely undetected? Lena activated the communication array. A calm, clear voice echoed through the alien channels, speaking in the universal language used at the assembly. "This is Captain Lena Oren of the human battleship Aegis. We are here to demonstrate that humanity is not to be underestimated. We come in peace, but make no mistake. We are capable, precise, and determined. We have reached your capital without detection. Consider this proof." The alien leaders, pale from shock, struggled to respond. One of them, a towering figure with crystalline armor, banged its clawed hands on the command podium. "Impossible," it shouted. They should not. How?" Raj watched the sensors, eyes scanning for any signs of retaliation. "They are stunned. No attacks yet. They are trying to understand what just happened." "Good," Lena said. "We remain calm. We have one chance to make an impression. Target defenses only if necessary, disable systems without casualties, and retreat once the message is clear." The crew executed their plan with precision. The battleship's advanced systems identified key orbital defense nodes, satellites and stations that monitored traffic, controlled shields, and housed automated weapons. Using carefully calculated pulses, the humans temporarily disabled these nodes, rendering large sections of the city's defenses inactive. Not a single life was threatened. The purpose was clear: demonstrate capability, not destruction. Alien fleets scrambled. Ships launched from nearby stations, weapons primed, shields activated, but they were slow. They could not anticipate human unpredictability. Every move of the battleship was precise, avoiding detection until the last possible moment, striking only with calculated precision. Trent monitored the alien responses, ready to adjust communication protocols. "They are sending messages now. They are panicked, confused. The assembly underestimated us, and now they see the reality." Below, the city stirred. Citizens watched the sky, terrified yet mesmerized by the massive human ship hovering above. Rumors spread quickly. This was no ordinary craft, no alien spy, but something entirely new. Humanity had arrived not to conquer, but to prove that they were formidable. Lena's voice rang through the command deck. "Maintain position. Do not overextend. We are here to make a statement, not start a war. Every move precise, every action controlled." The ship hovered silently, a shadow of power above the capital. The energy fields and shields that had protected the city for centuries now seemed insufficient. Alien commanders tried to coordinate, but the humans had already anticipated their routines. Every defense system was accounted for, every patrol tracked, every satellite bypassed. Suddenly, one of the alien generals spoke over the universal channel, voice trembling. "This is a warning. Identify yourselves and withdraw immediately. You are violating all protocol." Lena smiled faintly, her eyes steady. "We are humans. We are capable. We are not here to destroy, but to demonstrate that underestimation is dangerous. You laughed at us. Now you see the truth. Treat humanity with respect, or next time, we will show how unstoppable we can be." Silence followed. The alien leaders could not respond immediately. Their pride and disbelief clashed with the undeniable fact. Humans had reached their capital, invisible until the perfect moment. Their laughter had turned to shock. Raj monitored the cloaking and energy systems. "We have achieved optimal position. Defensive nodes are disabled. No casualties. The message is clear." "Good," Lena said. "Now we hold long enough for them to understand, then we retreat. Let them think, let them process. They will remember this moment," Trent added. "We can send a final message emphasizing humanity's intent and capabilities." Lena nodded. "Do it." The message broadcast across the capital and nearby systems. "Humanity is not weak. We are intelligent, adaptable, and precise. Underestimating us is a mistake. We seek peace, but we are capable of defending ourselves and more. Remember this." Alien fleet scrambled, but the battleship remained untouchable. Its cloaking technology allowed for rapid maneuvering if necessary, But there was no need for aggressive attacks. The demonstration alone had accomplished the goal, proving humanity's intelligence, discipline, and determination. Hours passed as the human ship hovered above the capital. Every eye in the alien systems was fixed on the massive vessel, every sensor tracking movements that were perfectly controlled. The humans showed restraint, discipline, and respect, even as they held the power to overwhelm. Finally, Lena spoke, her voice calm and resolute. "Prepare for retreat. Mission objective achieved. We have shown them what they did not expect, and we will leave them with a lesson they cannot forget." The battleship activated the cloaking field once more, vanishing from sensors as silently as it had appeared. Alien fleets searched frantically, scanning the skies and tracking every signal, but the ship was gone. Humanity had made its statement, delivered a warning, and left without bloodshed. Trent exhaled, leaning back in his chair. "They will never forget this day." Raj smiled, a mix of relief and pride on his face. "We proved what humans can do. Against all odds, with intelligence and precision, we achieved what no one expected." Lena looked out at the stars, calm and proud. "Yes, and the galaxy will think twice before laughing at humanity again." As the battleship drifted away from the alien capital, returning to the safety of human space, a new chapter began. Humanity was no longer the species to be dismissed. They had arrived on the galactic stage, demonstrating that intelligence, courage, and innovation could overcome even the most powerful civilizations. The aliens, still stunned, began to reconsider their assumptions. Reports spread throughout the galaxy. Humans were capable, humans were clever, and humans were not to be underestimated. A new respect, cautious but genuine, began to emerge. Back on the battleship, the crew allowed themselves a quiet moment of triumph. They had infiltrated the capital, shown their strength, and retreated safely. Humanity's first major operation in alien space had succeeded. The galaxy had laughed, but now humans had earned their first taste of respect. Lena turned to her crew. "We did what few believed possible, but this is only the beginning. We must continue to grow, to learn, to prepare. One operation does not secure the future, but it does open doors, and we will walk through them together." Raj nodded, his eyes shining. "The galaxy will remember this. Humanity will be known, not as weak but as clever, determined, and unstoppable," Trent added. "And they will speak our name with caution next time." Instead of laughter, the battleship moved away from the alien capital, invisible once more, carrying humans who had achieved the impossible. Their mission had been precise, their actions disciplined, and their message clear. Humanity had shown the galaxy that being underestimated could be turned into the greatest advantage of all. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, indifferent yet witness to the determination of a species that refused to be ignored, and humanity, patient and prepared, was ready to shape the galaxy's perception of them forever. The human battleship Aegis glided silently through space, cloaked once again, its mission above the alien capital complete. The crew allowed themselves a moment of quiet satisfaction, knowing they had achieved what no one in the galaxy had expected. Humanity had reached the heart of an alien civilization, shown its strength, and retreated without bloodshed. Yet Lena knew that the work was far from over. "Mission successful," Dr. Raj Malhotra said, his eyes scanning the control panels. "Cloaking integrity is perfect. No energy leaks, no detection. The demonstration was flawless." Lena nodded, her gaze distant as she thought of the galaxy that had laughed at humanity. "Yes, but this is only the beginning. The galaxy now knows we are capable. Respect once earned must be maintained. We must prepare for the next steps: diplomacy, strategy, and continued advancement." Commander Elias Trent adjusted the communications array, opening secure channels to the human command networks back on Earth. Reports indicate shockwaves throughout their system. The alien fleets are confused, disorganized, and reconsidering their assessments of humanity. They are beginning to realize that we are not a species to dismiss. Lena allowed herself a small, proud smile. Exactly as planned. Show them capability, inspire respect, and avoid unnecessary conflict. Humans are not reckless conquerors. We are precise, disciplined, and prepared. That is our greatest strength. Back on Earth, The story of the invisible human battleship spread like wildfire. News channels, social networks, and interstellar broadcasts carried images and reports of the unprecedented event. Citizens cheered, celebrated, and marveled at humanity's ingenuity. No longer would humans be laughed at or dismissed. The galaxy had witnessed their arrival in a dramatic and unforgettable way. In the following days, human diplomats began sending messages to alien civilizations across the galaxy. The tone was firm, confident, but peaceful. Humanity emphasized that they sought cooperation, not conflict, but they were ready to defend themselves if provoked. The results were immediate. Many species, previously dismissive or hostile, began requesting formal contact, treaties, and alliances. Lena, Raj, and Trent convened in the command deck to review the progress. "The galaxy is changing," Trent said, projecting a holographic map with highlighted systems showing new diplomatic requests. "Species that once ignored us are now sending envoys, asking for trade, information, and mutual agreements." "Good," Lena replied. "Respect is earned through action, not words." The Aegis proved that humans can act decisively, intelligently, and morally. That lesson will remain in their minds longer than any warning or treaty. Raj leaned forward, eyes bright with curiosity. "Do you think they will ever underestimate us again?" Lena shook her head. "Not the ones who witnessed it. Some may still doubt, but humans have shown a capability that cannot be ignored. From this point forward, we build on that respect. We continue to innovate, explore, and demonstrate our value to the galaxy." The human crew now focused on two priorities: technological advancement and diplomacy. They worked with scientists across Earth to further enhance cloaking, propulsion, and strategic systems. Simultaneously, diplomats established new channels of communication with alien civilizations, emphasizing humanity's peaceful intentions while making it clear that underestimation could have serious consequences. In the alien systems, responses varied. Some leaders were humbled, realizing their arrogance had underestimated a young species. Others remained cautious, still skeptical of human intentions. Yet even the skeptics had to acknowledge one undeniable fact: humans had the intelligence, courage, and determination to act in ways no one had anticipated. 1 week after the mission, Lena convened a meeting with her senior officers. "We have sent a clear message," she said, "but diplomacy is ongoing. We must continue to show that humans are capable partners, not just warriors. Our next steps will define how humanity is perceived in the galaxy for generations." Trent spoke, highlighting key diplomatic initiatives. Several civilizations are offering alliances, technology exchanges, and research collaborations. They recognize our potential and want to engage constructively. If we accept wisely, humanity can gain knowledge and build influence without unnecessary conflict, Raj added, "and our technology. The Aegis proved humans can innovate at a level many didn't expect. With continuous development, we can ensure that no species ever underestimates us again." Lena nodded. "Exactly. Respect earned is not static. It must be maintained and strengthened. Humans have an opportunity to lead by example, showing that even a young species can act wisely, courageously, and responsibly." Months passed, and humanity's influence in the galaxy grew. Trade networks expanded, research collaborations flourished, and diplomatic relations strengthened. Humans were no longer the species that others laughed at. They had demonstrated their ingenuity, their discipline, and their determination to act with precision and responsibility. The alien civilization whose capital had been visited by the Aegis held a formal meeting to discuss the event. Leaders debated how to respond, acknowledging that their previous arrogance had underestimated humans. Messages were sent to Earth, expressing cautious respect and an interest in cooperative agreements. The galaxy's perception of humanity was shifting, one calculated interaction at a time. Back on the battleship, Lena reflected on the journey. "We began as a species underestimated by everyone. The galaxy laughed at us, But we turned their laughter into awareness, their doubts into respect. Trent added, and we did it without unnecessary conflict. That is what makes humanity truly remarkable. Not just survival, but discipline, morality, and intelligence in every action. Raj looked out at the stars, excitement in his eyes. The galaxy is vast, full of possibilities. Now that we have respect, we can explore, learn, and contribute in ways we never could before. Humanity's potential is limitless, Lena smiled. Yes, and this is only the beginning. Respect opens doors, but it also brings responsibility. We must continue to act wisely, innovate, and show that humans are a species worthy of their place in the galaxy. As the human battleship returned to Earth orbit, the crew received a hero's welcome. People cheered, not just for the technology or the ship, but for the courage and determination of humanity itself. The world felt united in a new way, inspired by the knowledge that humans could face the unknown, navigate danger, and emerge stronger. In the months that followed, humanity's role in the galaxy continued to grow. Diplomatic delegations traveled to distant stars, trade routes were established, and interstellar research projects flourished. Humans shared knowledge responsibly, collaborated with other species, and maintained a reputation for cleverness and integrity. Yet Lena, Raj, and Trent never forgot the lessons learned during the mission. The galaxy could still challenge them, threats could arise, and dangers would continue to exist. But humanity had proven something crucial. They were not weak, they were not predictable, and they were not to be underestimated. One evening, Lena stood on the observation deck of the Aegis looking at the stars beyond Earth. "We have earned respect," she said softly. "But respect alone is not enough. We must continue to show the galaxy who we are. Intelligence, courage, and morality. That is what will define humanity." Raj joined her, eyes reflecting the distant starlight. "And we can do it. We have proven that humans are capable of extraordinary things when we act together, when we think creatively, and when we remain determined." Trent added, "The galaxy will remember this day. Humanity has arrived. No longer mocked, no longer dismissed. We are part of the community now, respected, capable, and ready for what comes next." The battleship's engines hummed softly, a reminder that humanity was ready to move forward. From Earth to the distant stars, humans had made their mark. The galaxy had laughed at them, and now the galaxy had learned to respect them. Lena turned, looking at her crew. "We did it together. This is humanity's moment, and it belongs to all of us. But we must never stop. The stars are vast. Challenges will come, and our journey has only begun. The galaxy knows who we are now, but it will take our actions to show them who we truly can be." The crew nodded, united by a shared purpose, pride, and determination. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again. As the Aegis prepared to leave orbit, a new chapter in human history began. One of exploration, diplomacy, innovation, and continued strength. The galaxy had laughed, but humans had turned that laughter into respect, proving that even the youngest, smallest species could achieve the extraordinary through intelligence, courage, and unity. And so, humanity's story continued. A story of a species that refused to be dismissed, a species that turned underestimation into its greatest advantage, and a species that would forever shape the galaxy.